Welcome to ELF Center 5, Designs in Nature, Honeybees.
Okay, this is the outdoor center, and it is called Honeybee Hunts and Hideouts. And you're going to take students outside to have them explore flowers and see if there's any bees pollinating. You might want to start out by you could start out by talking about the parts of a flower and do just a little bit of anatomical science of a plant. Or you could save this parts of a flower to go with activity that's an extension activity. But you want to get them thinking about the importance of the flower and what's on the flower and what the bees are doing there. And what they're doing there is collecting pollen and I believe also collecting nectar. So a good guide for probably kindergarten, first grade, and maybe second grade for the adult to have one copy of the guide and have everybody kind of all together and talking about it is this honeybee hunt. For maybe second and third and fourth, kids can have their own, or they could have their own in a group that they could fill out, like in a partner kind of situation. So you're going to have the kids find a flower that's got a bee and have them describe the flower. Is there a bee visiting the flower? Does the bee have pollen on its legs? In center one is a diagram that I should have got out for you guys, but on a bee's legs, on the very back, you can distinctly see these. If they're collecting pollen, there will be yellow pockets that look kind of like this pollen that's on this. They look kind of dusty like this, only they're sacs. All that pollen is inside those sacs, and it's really quite fascinating if you find a bee that happens to have that. You want to have the kids observe what they're collecting. Oh, there, sweet. There we go. There's a great picture right there. So that's where the pollen sac is, where the bee would be collecting it. And so feel free to venture into other centers to find examples. Just because this, if I would have paid attention, there's another one right there.
It's almost Friday.
Ta-da! So yeah, so there's this book is specifically for Center 5, this one, and it shows where the pollen basket is, where the proboscis is, which is the part where the bee is sticking down into the flower to collect it. This is a really cute animation of the bee flying with the pollen sacs. It's got pictures of the parts of a flower, the stigma, the stamen, where the pollen is. And you want to talk about why it's important to our environment, to our ecosystem, that the bees are going from flower to flower, carrying that pollen, because they carry it, but they drop some of it off at the next one, and that cross-pollination is what helps flowers grow, and then the flowers are pollinated, and they grow the fruit. So you're basically out looking for bees and looking to see if you can make some observations about what they're doing in relationship to flowers, what they're doing in relationship to other insects. So if you have time or the desire, you can do the flower dissection either before or after, or if it's a cold day and there aren't a lot of bees, then this would be go out and look and see what you could find, and then move on to the dissection. Included for your bee observation are magnifying glasses. Absolutely take those outside with you. Exactly. Okay. So when you dissect the flower, the best example is probably these lilies, because they have really specific parts that, again, you can see. I'm going to just start by pulling some pieces off. I'll put that there. So if you just pull some of these outside petals off, then you can get into. So this is the petal, on the back is the sepal. And in the middle, you've got the stamen. I'm gonna sneeze. And then in the middle is the pistil. And then the pistil, you can even go further, and that's the part that we would dissect with the X-Acto knife. Pull that out of there. Make a really big polleny mess. So I've taken it apart. I've got some of the parts, and what I'm gonna do is hopefully not injure myself.
Yikes.
So yeah, so really quick, this should be only the adult only with the blade. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna cut open the bottom and try to cut it down the middle. And where's my cut? There it is. If you had a magnifying glass, I don't know if that's going to show up, but in there you could see, I don't know if you can see that or not.
Well, not through the camera, nope.
So in there are the, you know, the parts, the reproductive parts of the flower.
So again, that was in the middle of the flower, the pistil, and broken down over here
Right on the
in our
center.
diagram.
Yeah. So you had within the pistil on the top is the stigma, which I didn't cut into, and then you've got the style, which makes pollen. The pollen makes these tubes down the center. So the pollen lands here and it goes down the tubes and it ends up in the ovaries in the flower, and that's how then the flower produces seeds and it can reproduce the next season. So that's dissecting the flower.
And so the center is outside hunting for bees and flowers, and the symbiotic relationship between bees and flowers.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, it is on the snowy afternoon in April. And that's pretty much it. I have to say that when I did this with my oldest, and we went and found those pollen sacs, to actually like see that was amazing. So I highly hope, cross your fingers, it's a day to find bees and keep in search of them until you find one. It's worth it. And that's about it. If you have questions, mitchellelf@gmail.com, and hope for a sunny day.